guys, welcome to my channel. Jesse YouTube 715 coming to you from Ridgefield, Washington. Today I want to talk a little bit about solo traveling, a few things that are like huge benefits of traveling by yourself. It's so good for you, and so let's just dive right in. Number one, when you go traveling by yourself, there's no compromising. Like, you gotta do whatever you want to do / UVU. And so, whatever, like the schedule, the transportation route, the location, what you spend your money on, what you spend your time doing, what you don't spend your time doing, all of those things you get to choose. And an example I have of that is I was headed to Alaska. I got to the airport. I was doing standby, so you only get on if there's room on the flight. I was going to Alaska to see my cousin, and there was not room on the flight, and so I called my ride to, say, hey, I didn't get on the flight. Can you come pick me up? They didn't answer their phone. I had the time off of work already, and so I had a free ticket to go somewhere. So I looked at the reader board and looked at all my options, and I thought, well, heck, maybe I'll just go to Hawaii. And there was room on the flight to Hawaii. So although I was packed for Alaska, I ended up going to Hawaii for a few days, which was so awesome. I think I'm like the only person that's ever flown to Hawaii without a swimsuit. But you make it work, right? So when I got there, I just found some shorts and a shirt and dove right in with everybody else. So that's just one example. When you travel by yourself, you can do whatever you want to do. And another thing is no pressure to spend any money, but you can. So sometimes I feel like when I am out with friends, when I travel with other couples, or just, whoever I may be traveling with, there's a little bit of pressure, like where do we want to stay? What do we want to do? Where do we want to eat? What excursions do we want to participate in? And there's, for me, a little bit of pressure on how I'm going to spend my resources and my time. When you travel by yourself, you don't have any of that pressure. It's so great. So I'm happy to just like grab food at a food cart, maybe walk the distance instead of grabbing an Uber. I, get to try whatever, I want to do with my resources and time, which that obviously there's benefits of traveling with folks and making those compromises, but one of the benefits of traveling solo is no pressure to spend money, but on the other hand, you can. So an example of this is I was in Israel by myself for 3 days before my family joined me, and while I was in Israel, I stayed at a hostel, the Austrian Hospice. Shout out to the Austrian Hospice, fantastic hostel right in the old city of Israel. And I just ate like the local food. It was so delicious. And then I did end up spending some money on a day excursion to the Dead Sea, where we put mud all over our bodies and floated in the water. And I got to know awesome people. We also went to En Gedi, which is a gorgeous hike into some fresh water, and got to know, fantastic people, but got to spend the time and the resources the way I wanted, saved in some areas and splurged in some others. That leads me to number 3, stranger danger or new friends. So number 3 is new friends. When you travel by yourself, it opens you up to conversations and interactions that you might not have otherwise. You run into other, solo travelers or just other people that are open to, getting to know new folks. And really, that's one of the best things about traveling, period, is the people that you meet and how you see different people living their lives. And so when you go by yourself, it's such an awesome opportunity to get to know other folks, I was in Vietnam this past fall. I did a trip by myself on Ha Long Bay, Cat Ba Bay, and I was on this ship. It was like an overnight cruise, and it was gorgeous, stunning. I was on that ship with four German millennials and 2 UK millennials. Fantastic. What did I love about that? Well, I loved a lot of things about that, but one of the things is the conversations that we had during dinner about what was going on in our different countries. Politics, employment, social, technology. It was just so enlightening to see how other people are living their lives and their perspective of what's going on in my country, my perspective of what's going on in their country, their royalty, and just different things. One example, one of the guy's careers was he decoded reference letters. So essentially in Germany, my understanding is that there's corporate to corporate code. So when an employee is, leaving a company, he would get a letter of reference, or when he's applying for a new job, when he or she is applying for a new job. And in that letter of reference, it may say, John Doe is very prompt in the letter, but that could be decoded as, he always leaves early on Friday, or something to that nature. And I said, why do you guys need this service? Like, don't you do like 360 feedback or something? And they said, no, in our culture, we're very polite and very nice. And so this is the way that it can be interpreted. Anyway, just like so different than the culture that I'm from. And so it's just so eye-opening, and it's such a fantastic opportunity to get to know folks when you travel, and that's enhanced when you travel solo. So there's Sophie, that's my cat. Say hi, Sophie. Anyway, that's all I've got for you today. So I hope if you're interested in learning more about traveling that you will subscribe to my channel. I hope you have an awesome 2019. We're just going into the new year, and safe travels.